Coming from the Truspace, we ain't entertaining neighbors. I don't give a fuck what you say. Found the universal coochie, planting seeds and birds fruit. Now I'm really looking juicy. Welcome to the Truspace. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the Truspace. Welcome to the Truspace. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the Truspace.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Truspace. My name is Open Book, and this is my partner.
Hey guys, this is Harris and welcome back to Truspace.
Yep, and this is your weekly horoscope. So let's look at the energy. On Monday, we're experiencing the energies of this post-eclipse type stuff. We are off of this, not eclipse, post-new moon type energy. In Gemini, how you think this is affecting us on a collective level?
So after releasing all this esoteric waste, all these vulnerabilities with the lunar eclipse and Scorpios are right now with the sun into Gemini, allowing us to be much more communicative, wanting to argue, analyze about what we developed so far with our sense of value, this new, unique, innovative, Uranus in Taurus way of changing our material realm. This is where our sun is focusing right now. Our sun wants us to communicate, argue, analyze, be flexible, adaptable about how we think about this value. Because in Aries is we figure out who I am, and then in Taurus our value, and then in Gemini is I think. We're thinking about I am and our values. So the sun in Gemini right now require us to act in the Hermes energy in a sense, and with the new moon in Gemini is going to give us a new emotional start to know how to communicate about these new sense of values that deal with Uranus and Taurus.
Yeah, real shit. And just like what you were saying, like coming off of that lunar eclipse type energy in Scorpio, where a lot of things that were probably emotions that were held deep under, or were vulnerabilities, or maybe certain weak spots in your emotional security would have been exposed, or you maybe would have reconciled or just seen it in a different light. Coming onto this new moon, that Scorpio, what's deep and what was hidden, what was uncovered, was brought to the surface. So now it's like Gemini, we're kind of going through that, so what's this? Or what's this? With an impartial eye, with a more fresher, curious type mindset. You may even find yourself looking at things, especially with the new moon Gemini type energy. We're kind of moving away from that deep Scorpio, fixate on these things, and kind of allowing ourselves to be more mutable and passive with our attention, and seeing things from multiple different angles and not really holding on to specific angles, allowing different perspectives of our feelings and emotions, and what's being told to us. You know what I mean? Allowing us to have different perspectives, because you'll find hella gems when you look at things like that. When you not hold on to certain things and you look at different perspectives. I remember one time you were like how Geminis, all the rapper Geminis, can talk about the one thing from all different perspectives. And then after you said that, I had realized, I thought of Biggie and how he's a Gemini. I'm like, he came up with the infinite amount of ways to say that I'm a rob a nigga. I'm a rob you and shoot you. Thousands. Listening to him rap, I'm like, what? I'm like, you said the same thing. You said you were going to snatch the shorty's purse 5 times, but you said it 5 different ways, made me feel 5 different emotions. But you're at the end of the day, you're just talking about robbing a shorty's purse. That's that type of Gemini energy, or that's Gemini Max being able to really show you all different ways of something. So that's the energy of that that new moon. Hitting us on Monday too, with that added reflection energy of us, simulating. So really take it in this new not only information and curiosity, this new desire to search for information, but allowing our feelings and emotions to be a little bit more mutable. Maybe you'll be letting go feelings that you had harbored, and all of a sudden they're just a little bit more lighter, or you're less emotionally invested, and you're able to, brush things off like that. That's a positive way of using that energy, being in that good side of that energy. And then we have Mars
Because
conjunct. Oh, yep, yep.
what I was gonna say is that the Gemini energy could lead you to becoming superficial, but there's the right places to be superficial. It doesn't have to be deep all the time like Scorpio. This is why they in conjunct each other. There's a reason right now we're going through this Gemini season because it's time to be superficial, articulate, light, light in nature, things of that nature.
That's real shit. And then even just to show, like, my girlfriend has Jupiter in Gemini, so in its detriment. And it's interesting when I see her express that energy. She really would blow up or add meaning and reasoning to small little details, or this one piece seems like it's the entire piece, from certain perspectives. And I see that falling in. So it's very true, like what you were saying, being able to be lighthearted with things. Not everything has meaning, but that doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't have information that it can provide, or everything doesn't have deep meaning and purpose. Sometimes niggas just fuck with you to fuck with you. You know what I mean? There's not no backstory. Where his mom hit him, or he got fucked in the booty hole, which what led him to do. Sometimes the niggas just want to be an asshole and pop you upside your head, or something like that, and you have to be able to roll with that.
Mhm.
Speaking of popping niggas in the head, Mars and Jupiter is conjunct in Aries. So how do you think that energy is gonna hit us all?
And we already seen this in the news currently with this
Right?
school shooting and all these aggressive things going on with war, Ukraine, and things of that nature. Just expect things to become more dramatic and more aggressive in the news as we move further in this Gemini season, because they're gonna attempt to hit you with all type of information, all type of scatteredness. For example, recently I seen them mention about George Floyd an anniversary, death anniversary. They just pulled it out of nowhere just to add more like to the sauce, which is kind of mind blowing. So like Mars and Jupiter and Aries, you could expect a lot of expansion and aggression, a lot of institution, government taking action, becoming more passionate. Uh, um, you're gonna see a lot of aggressive things going on. But in your case, you should utilize this energy in a way you direct it towards your goal, and not allowing that Aries energy to force you to just initiate multiple things, because that's what a lot of Aries become. They become lone wolf in the third dimension because they don't know how to fix it themselves on one thing. So you want to utilize this chance and really allow the Mars and Jupiter conjunction to power you up on this one imagination you want to go toward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Real talk. And there's a lot of, I don't know, Jupiter and Aries just makes me feel like you're being taken on a ride, and I don't know, your friend's driving a little too fast. You're like, nigga, slow it down. And he's like, shut the fuck up. He's just driving, speeding, and you're just in the car. You're like, oh shit, am I gonna die? Where's this nigga taking me? You know what I mean? Where it could feel like that, where you're being taken on a trip, because of, and then that coincides with all of this war shit and all of that. None of us was about any of that, but it's like you're forced into it, and you into experiencing that, to talk about that being a topic that dominating everything, when it's a whole bunch of conflict that you didn't know about, had nothing to do with you, but all of a sudden you're strapped in, and there might be a World War III because of some dumb shit that Ukraine's going through. With Russia. Not to mention, nobody really even talks about how Ukraine is the most corrupt country in the entire world. And it's like, oh yeah, Russia's bad, right? But fuck all of that. But that's that type of energy that's being held in terms of, you're being strapped on a ride, being put through in an experience. So with that heavy aggression energy, if you don't know where you're directing your passions, your desires, man, this is like heavy gaslit, like where you could really be aggravated or charged or be pushed into a direction, and even into that lone wolf energy. I can see how that can, just like what you're saying, how that can play out, and then kind of maybe take you away from the Saturn and Aquarius type energy, or all of this other type of energy where teamwork makes the dream work, and you kind of get peaked. And then Saturn and Aquarius is there too, so maybe it's Aquarius, that energy, it's sneak, it's like a kind of not necessarily lacking of emotion, but it's what's for the greater good. So it's like Aquarius will send Aries on a mission to go and do some shit, knowing damn well that this nigga's gonna get hurt or some shit's gonna fucked up, but just so they can collect more information and be like, oh, so that's what happens. If you're an Aries, watch out for your Aquarius friend. Those niggas that gaslight you at for real shit. But yeah, I see a lot of that energy coming
So
from that transit.
Mars conjunction Jupiter. Watch out for all your impulses because right now in Gemini season requires you to think, to analyze, to view properly, and all those energies on those fire areas related that might get you the emotional attack.
Real talk, and then make sure that that you have desires and that you're passionate about something. A lot of times, passion or can get clouded by fear, and then or suppressed by fear, and then fear takes on many disguises in different shapes and forms. Boredom is a shape and form that fear can take. A lot of times when we're bored, it's kind of like a lie that we tell ourselves as disguise for fear. Oh, I don't want to try, or I don't want to step out and enter a new space, that type of thing, and be vulnerable. It's that type of deal. So don't use being bored or not being unmotivated or whatever as an excuse to not direct your passions and desires into something, because you'll be gaslit. And with Mars and Jupiter, this is the best time to expand your passions, your desires, the things that you generally want that are for you, that burning sensation. This is the time to expand it. This is that first initial desire, that first initial want. This is the time where you can really gain wisdom and understanding of that type of stuff. So you definitely want to be in the healthy expression of Aries. And don't get mad. Anger is another one of those disguises where anger is merely just letting you know of your new boundaries, of what you will and will not tolerate. So it's a tool. It's not something to allow you to be, gaslit or to overreact to. It's something that's letting you know your new boundaries that you can emotionally deal with at that time. When someone gets you angry, it's like, I know. That's why people, religious people, Sagittarius energy can just laugh that shit off, because they have the broad perspective or view that doesn't let them, get stuck, or their boundaries are wide, if you get what I mean. So when your boundaries are wide and you have a whole bunch of awareness, you don't get angry that much. So know that that's what it is, and what it's letting you know about. And it's funny I'm even saying that because Chiron in Aries is making a sextile with the moon and Gemini. So the moon coming through, especially after this new moon, this new curiosity, this new sense of idea, it could probably giving you new ideas, new conversations, new relationships and social dynamics, even, or give just the ones that you already have, giving you more of them that help heal that sense of the individual, that show you that healthy expression, that maybe gives you the idea, that sparks a healthy way to deal with anger and aggression, instead of just letting it fester and build up and fuck your shit up, fuck up your head.
And this new moon in Gemini is gonna allow you to have this new mind to view this energy that you got in your brain and your nervous and this dementia about the way you feel yourself. So either you're gonna be able to utilize this energy to articulate enough oxygen in that area of the brain to
Yeah.
wake up, express who you are, or not know how to take enough oxygen and allow that area to die off in your brain to get to who you are, the self. You're definitely gonna be put in a position, bringing a lot of new experiences, but you're gonna have to think about these experiences, and you're gonna make a lot of mistakes there.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And even the moon in Gemini, or even just the Gemini energy, is allowing you being okay with those mistakes, you know? Kind of not attaching so heavily emotionally to it, so that you can allow yourself to go through those experiences and have the conversations and be able to get through the information, you know? Otherwise, you get stuck on certain things.
Yeah, this is opening the path for you to figure out how to know to communicate about your value in the moon later into Aquarius, because you're square Taurus. So Gemini, this new one, Gemini is just the early step, learning how to walk, communicate.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Putting those things into words finally, and having a way of
Yeah,
communicating these things.
beginning your rap career.
Dead ass, dead ass. And then that's how Monday is looking like. Let's look at Tuesday, the 31st. We have the moon and Gemini making, in the later degrees of Gemini, making a trine with Saturn in Aquarius. How do you think this energy will hit us?
And so as we're diving deeper in those Gemini degrees, this new moon in Gemini, we're in an emotional new place to communicate, be superficial, be very light when it comes to the feelings and emotion, things of that nature. And that would create opportunities for grandpa to help us how to take responsibility and control based upon our Saturnus. This is Saturnus for the sake of pushing the envelope of Aquarius. As Aquarius will make us very stiff in the thinking, as opposed to Gemini, a little bit more flexible. So that nature of flexibility and fixation is going to help with our mental thought process.
Hell yeah. Whereas Aquarius say they'll look at someone, say someone says something stupid. Aquarius already wrote them off. You know, this nigga has nothing to offer me off of the one stupid thing that they had said. Gemini would maybe probe a little bit more, ask a little bit more questions, and then get that little piece of information that could be utilized. And then Aquarius is like, "What? You were able to get that out of that dumbass nigga?" It was like, "Yeah, yeah." And then Gemini and Aquarius link up and help each other out like that. Cause you're right, not being so rigid or and so fixated stuck on the thoughts that the Gemini would just casually ask the thing that is the final piece of what the Aquarius needed for the knowledge. So that's definitely how they play out and tie in for each other. Especially with the moon's relationship with Saturn, how they kind of have that that dynamic. It's kind of giving the moon a perspective to not take Saturn so seriously, to not look at Saturn as such an opposition. And now they're starting to work together. Now, okay, now your feelings and emotion, what makes you comfortable is a little bit more aligning and creating opportunities with what's actually going to be practical in the real world. And then, but you have Moon and Gemini squaring Neptune and Pisces, adding a little bit of that scattered energy. How do you think that this adds to the mixture?
So you're attempting to be more flexible, to take patient with what you're doing, like vice versa, by keeping things light when it comes to fixated, I would be a little bit more fixated when it's scattered. But with the moon squaring Neptune or Pisces, I can see how you're attempting to formulate certain messages, taking what you're talking about, knowing what your subconscious is saying, but you do not actually know how to communicate it. Based on you being in this Gemini energy, being highly logical and not being too intuitive. And that is supposed to be left off for the moon and Cancer. It's going to allow you to connect with what the universe wants you to do. All right? The moon is Gemini, learn how to be a little more convenient, harness those opportunities that present this. I learned how to deal with the sadness of life and crisis. Just know things will be very confusing on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. And then, just like what we were talking about with Gemini season in general, trying to bring these things into words, trying to really communicate and facilitate conversations about things when your belief system is in Pisces, giving you these experiences. Neptune and because it's in home in Pisces communicates in states of beings. If that makes sense, like you're gonna know a Pisces is in how they're feeling by the state of being and then the vibe, whereas a Gemini is going to tell you, if you get what I mean. So it's like the moon in Gemini is kind of making you try to communicate and bring things to words, but where your the influences and the beliefs that are supporting all of these things that are going on are more so states of being. So it's going to be hard to kind of converse those things. So, which kind of makes it scary, or it's kind of giving a learning experience of you trying to bring these things into words. Um, so don't let that Tron with that Gemini energy and Aquarian energy on that day make you go too in your head or too air, too logical. Utilize it. Utilize that air to make better decisions and that type of thing. But no, maybe you need to add a little bit more emotion to a situation, or know that maybe you need to see something first. Maybe something's being talked about a little bit too much. If you get what I mean, just try and check for those other things and be okay with not being able to bring something to words because that square's there. It's a state of being type thing. Try and communicate those things more through a state of being, and then you'll find the words to fit it afterwards.
Mhm.
And that's how Tuesday's looking. On Wednesday, the moon's moving into Cancer. And when it moves into Cancer, now the moon is making a square to Mars and Jupiter in Aries now. How do you think this energy is hitting us now?
So this is the second quarter of this moon cycle. Is gonna allow us to result this new status elevated things that we want to communicate about, since the sun is in Gemini right now, but since the moon is in Cancer, the first part of the summer season, the moon cycle is going to allow us to really exalt that emotional feeling of comfortability and the energy of creating a home, but we create a home is arguing one like oh, so like in those bigger our farm and then in Gemini right, but nomad around communicate on our values and guess right now we want to make people, we want to make this our home. We want to make this part of our as people, but it's our thing. I can see how you be fighting for compassion side that you don't end or just action on and express on as opposed to with what you have to go far because Mars could make you advance far. It is that you don't have to go that far because you currently do the ways to experiences. And when I say experiences, I'm talking about a lot of experiences. This will lead to a Sagittarius being wise, like you I think that you a Sagittarius that is the night
Real talk. Real talk. And then yeah, like and where that square or where the differentiation of that cardinal type energy, it kind of makes sense because you can't have new ways of seeing yourself and reflect at the same time, or it's kind of hard to do that. Assessing how something had made you feel and then declaring I am. They're kind of like two separate starts that lead into each other, but two different type of perspectives. So while you're emotionally responding to how you feel, you're getting these new visions of who you are. So now it's kind of throwing you off because who you are may not be necessarily how you're feeling right now. Who you and how things had led to it. So that's kind of where that that crossroads is. How to deal with birthing energy when you're trying to nurture something at the same time. So that's where that square is. And then, yeah, that could even manifest as maybe you have a desire, just like we were talking about, how you can start a business with this type of thing, or to start your real desires, that type of thing. Moon and Cancer, your mom's here chirping in your ear, telling you how you can't do shit, how you need this, how you need that. I was all worried, telling you you're gonna hurt yourself, all of that type of stuff. Overactive immune system, you know what I mean? Um, Definitely seeing that going there. So don't be too worried or catch too much feelings, or let that stop you from that momentum that you're building with Mars and Jupiter and Aries. Because if you know your passions that's what you're really passionate about. Remember, the moon's gonna move out of of Cancer before these energies do. So it's making you aware of certain things, but don't let that worry become too comfortable. You get too lost into that, and you don't end up giving birth to what you had intended, or you miss opportunities. You let it slow you down, because that's a square, not 90-degree. You were on an angle, and if you had seen what it was, made right adjustments, you wouldn't have had to slow down as much. But because there's that corner that you're coming to. So don't catch too much feelings. Don't get too much feelings.
Cancer is very emotionally aggressive, very.
Very, very, and it's feelings, and then that's Cancer a lot of the times, where it's very moody, and you go through a lot of different types of emotions. So this is scrapping about something that you don't even care about. The next day you would beat a nigga up off of something that the next day you really don't even care about. But yeah, later on that day, Mercury in Taurus is going to make a square with Saturn in Aquarius. And then Mercury in Taurus is also making a sextile to Neptune in Pisces. How do you think this Mercurian energy, especially since it's a retrograde, how do you think this is going to hit us all?
So right now, our way of thinking, our way of articulating things, our way of viewing reality, it went from this realm of thinking in a very flexible, adaptable way, Gemini, and hit this retrograde back into Taurus to research our sense of value. And I could say for a fact, I was really thinking about, what do I really value in life? Do I value the stock market? Do I value crypto? Do I value astrology? And things of that nature. So as we're hitting this Mercury retrograde, this square and Saturn is like polishing things with the grappa. Grappa is making sure that whatever you're thinking about in terms of values is being something with society, association, the wish and reality, and that you need. But right now, if you're not correlating your values for these things, or you might have been presented this opportunities with the universe right now, your values, but you're holding on to your guns and you're not changing your values, you could make that square with Saturn much easier to handle.
Hell yeah, that reminds me, and it is like Grandpa. That's like, and then Mercury is like the little kid. That's like maybe you have a talent and a gift, and then you go and show Grandpa, and he's like, is it gonna make money though? Are people gonna like it? Is it gonna bring attention? And then you're just a little kid, you'd be like I'm juggling or something like that. This is my talent. But Saturn's like, are people going to like that? Is that orientated? Is that what people are looking out for right now? How do you know that this talent, that this thing is going to affect, or on a broad scale, or how it's going to come into conflict with what's most logical with everybody? And you're just like, just let me rock. And then fucking Neptune and Pisces, his grandma being like, oh, it's so good, child. Oh, that's such good juggling type techniques. And you're like, am I actually good at juggling, grandma? What's going on? Why you lying to me? Or not giving me a clear perspective. But it can also give you the chance, because grandpa's already, scratching or no juggling. But just because grandma gave you the opportunity to feel how that state of being is, you can kind of better see, okay, is this connected? Was this subconscious a subconscious desire? Does this align with my beliefs? Does it feel right with my beliefs? This talent and the influences that had led me. Do I feel supported by my environment and my beliefs to think more about this type thing? Then it's kind of giving you a little bit more support in that area. And that's how Wednesday is looking with that energy. On Thursday, moon moving later into Cancer. Now it's trining Neptune, or making a trine with Neptune and Pisces. How do you think this double water type energy is going to hit us on Thursday?
But on Wednesday, we're entering into this emotional world that's gonna get completed or trying out on Wednesday, and that's Planet's gonna deal with Neptune and Pisces, but also the South Node is Scorpio. So this is as we're emotionally connecting our sort of dream, illusion, imagination, put it out there in the universe, because that's what I feel like people Cancer, trying Neptune, Pisces, and it's like it's kind of how we feel individually. It's how the universe responds as being the collective consciousness. And the Southern Scope is just part of the short water, leaving alone this thought. Again, the preventing mechanism of weak and things of that nature. But I see our stuff right now is kind of with acne, thought, as push deeper and deeper, improving unity itself. We can create more opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. A lot of reflecting on, and it's funny. The moon's a Cancer, and then it's Thursday, Jupiter day. So Jupiter's exalted in Cancer, so it's kind of and then it's all water, so it's kind of making us go through the emotions, kind of bringing these things up. Maybe it could even be sad, but we're seeing how these sad feelings had led to our strong beliefs, or our past events, since the South Node in Scorpio is there, and that we've been holding on to. Maybe seeing new feelings that you can have, or a new way of feeling about something that allows more transitions. This seems like it could help with Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Can allow you to really process your emotions in a more holistic type way, where you see where it had started, be able to reflect on that, how you're holding on to it, and maybe have some insights on how you can transition that, or maybe transmute that into a positive type thing, and where you want to organize these feelings into your subconscious mind. And then doing that, getting your emotions together, now you start to see that your physical reality is starting to see opportunities of how you can, once you get your emotions out of the way, or recognizing the opportunities of how you can better use Earth and your resources and stuff like that, and it's not making you overindulge into your resources and Earth type deal. But there's a little bit more balance, and that's where the North Node and Taurus comes in. Where it's like nobody can get physical stability without emotional stability. So it's like helping, and then that's what Scorpio really needs a lot of the time. With those harbored emotions, those deep emotions, it really needs Cancer, which is, and Pisces, or other water signs, sometimes even just a Scorpio too, to, instead of melting it like fire, and cracking it and moving it, like air and earth would, another fire sign, water sign, is going to put it in a different temperature of water, which is going to slowly melt that Scorpio ice into a way, because it understands emotions. Cancer, it started feeling a way about something. It knows later down the lines, I could end up like Scorpio if I had to hold on to this, or if I don't allow myself to feel a different way. And then Pisces is like, oh wow, Scorpio's really holding on to these emotions that I had let go, and that I've scattered. I already figured out a way to let go of these type things. So it's like you could really help, since the South Node is there, heal some past trauma. So really don't be afraid to be emotional, to be intuitive these days, and to maybe not make sense, maybe even looking at your past, or revising your past, or the emotions that you had went through, and trying to extract meaning some meaning from it since it's Jupiter Day. You can find it very emotionally enriching to allow yourself to be vulnerable on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Thursday be looking. Uh, Friday, Moon in Cancer, later degrees is opposite Pluto in Capricorn. We've had this alignment before. How do you think it's hitting us this time?
So every time we're experiencing the moon in Cancer, attempting to be a little bit more emotional, we're looking up and seeing Pluto up there right now. Our nightmare, what possibly kill us. So every time we're heading this opposite Pluto in Capricorn, is reminding us I gotta put my emotion aside for the sake of transforming my business. I gotta be more harsh on the dry because later on I know the moon is gonna go into Capricorn. So I might as well go to my sleep right now and try my best not to be too comfortable, too home like, and things of that nature.
For some reason, it's giving me the vibe, or I'm thinking in my head, some Freddy, is it Freddy Krueger, or the nightmare nigga? As every time the moon goes into Cancer, I think of that for some reason. Like Pluto's waiting for, I'm waiting for you to sleep. You know, I'm waiting for you to to relax, waiting for you to go into your dreams. That Freddy Krueger type energy. So that's why you kind of have to be a little bit on your toes and be comfortable with the uncomfortable with that type of energy, because Freddy Krueger's gonna be in your dreams, you know, ready to fuck shit up, or wake you up or prevent you from actually being relaxed. So it reminds us to stay on our toes and to not get too comfortable. That's for sure.
I remember coming off this trying with all those water energies. So we're feeling all this dreamy energy, this fogginess, and then we see Pluto in Capricorn, this nightmare right there.
Yeah, real shit. So if you were sleeping, yeah, real shit. Freddy Krueger's there. Oh yeah, real talk. It could be. Yeah, we was on talking about Pluto, Capricorn, and Moon and Cancer. So yeah, it can definitely be that rude awakening, or something to shake you up to remind you that the outside world and physical world is there, and it's a presence, and that you still have to let go of these certain needs, or relying on certain structural things, or someone else's blueprint, you know, for you, in order for you to get things started, or your interactions with society and the role you play with the world in itself. Of all the ways that it can be toxic, Pluto and Capricorn's telling us to cleanse that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so Moon and Cancer is always making us really feel that and emotionally respond to that type of stuff. Reflect on what that needs, on what that is, to so we can put it in the right place. But yeah, they could come as a rude awakening, be like us being shown that I don't give a fuck how you feel. It's like somebody saying that I don't give a fuck how you feel, but you were under the impression that niggas gave a fuck how you felt, and now you're reminded, oh yeah, niggas, you're here talking all emotional, oh yeah, niggas don't care how I feel. Let me roll up my sleeves, you know, do my thing, because niggas don't give a fuck how I feel. I should care, you know, I need to get my stuff in order, because these niggas ain't gonna look out for me. That type of energy.
Like this is important to go through this emotional transformative because later on the moon's gonna go into Leo and it's gonna oppose Saturn in Aquarius, the masculine side of Saturn. And if you don't do that emotional transformation right now, Pluto in Capricorn oppose Moon in Cancer, then you won't be able to utilize Saturn when it comes to your astral creation because you did not trans you didn't decide to choose to transfer your business, which and you decide to stay home, comfortable.
Exactly. Not really looking at maybe your public reputation, or how it fits, or what's even going on a larger level, on that what people are taking serious and what the structures are. And then you go into Leo, you're right, and you start shining your light, and niggas is like, what the fuck is this? What is this? You know, what are you showing us? Because Leo's just that honest expression, honest creative expression. So that's for sure. And then even, yeah, later on in that day, the moon's transitioning into Leo, and it makes a trine with with Mars and Jupiter. So now the moon in Leo's adding more fire to this Mars and Jupiter conjunction. How do you think this will hit us?
Well, that's on Friday. Well, Friday's gonna be a heavy, like a fire day in nature. Since you also like putting yourself in an emotional place to transform your second physical status. But also, Mercury is going to direct. It's almost like your emotion being transformed for your sake of your business. But right now, you have all this fire within you, and right now, Mercury is direct, ready to communicate about this vision and imagination that you have, but you just want to watch out for all this aggressive fire that's going on because the moon in Leo will make you heavily delusional, and then Mars in conjunction with something in the Aries might be expanding in the wrong passions of desires. And you might be expressing the wrong thing on stage with Saturn or Aquarius later. So it's better right now to know what you get to do when you jump on this move with the association. So you have to step on with Saturn that you're able to handle. And Saturn does not reject you, but it's a good opportunity for you to do those uh, career and injuries. At that point, when you live with your second career in Aries. So you want to prepare things ahead of time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Real talk, because that's really and it's funny how it plays out like that on Friday in terms of how the opposition kind of comes um, first, where maybe it's even a reminder, reminding of you of where to direct this Leo in energy. Where what you should feel, start feeling pride, and emotionally you start trying to creatively express these emotions. You got that restructured and what was going to be most practical with that opposition. So it's kind of like right before you shine that light, before you creatively express yourself and you start being honest, you had that reflection thing where it's like, this is reality, this is real, which is kind of getting to be needed because I see it. Leo's on the attack, and Leo energy in general in the world, and Aries, like all of these of individual signs in general. But then Leo be flunked out sometimes where it's like it be giving them the reasons to and shit like that. So it's like when you see that type of that little shock of reality, that Saturnian type reminder, it kind of help align, Leo, remember, oh yeah, um, the true possibilities of its energy.
A great uh, a great example, King Von Leo and Young Dolph Leo. Even though both of them were musicians, artists, giving birth to creativity, self-expression, guess who they got struck by? Saturn and Aquarius, people who they associate by, people they associate against, and things of that nature. They both got
Exactly.
killed in their own hood or things of that nature.
In their own hood. Exactly. Exactly. Because
Especially
they
Young Dolph. I know that's why Twitter.
and it's the attention that they had drawn up, but without the Saturn energy in terms of your public role and being stable in that, having the blueprint, grandpa, the OG, to help guide where that type thing, that energy is going. Yeah, the reflection, Aquarius, what in tarot, what is it? It's either when you start getting into like the middle, Five of Swords to Seven of Swords, that's Aquarius. And tell me why all of those tarot cards is a nigga stealing some shit. It's always along those lines. Something getting taken, a smirk, you doing something dirty once where niggas took some shit for some nigga and he's smiling, looking at this nigga. Another one's the guy coming in at night and stealing some swords from the other one. So it's like if you're not too sure of how you are gaining that attention, how it's gonna come back at you or how others are gonna look at it and intellectually process it. It's gonna be come as a shock. So that I feel like yeah, you're right. That's how that Pluto Capricorn thing is gonna remind us. It's probably gonna be something strict, that knock in the back of your head, relax. But then you go and see the thing you would have tripped over in front of you, and you're like, oh, okay, now I can better express myself, or put this into a better direction. Probably helping us not get too far with that fire energy too. With all of that shit that's going on.
This
And
is why we have this one. And Gemini allow you to have all this thinking ability to highlight, formulate yourself, these things that it knows ahead of time.
exactly, exactly. And then Mercury's going stationary direct on Friday too. So it's the end of retrograde, and Mercury's starting to go forward now. So how do you think we're going to such a process while our mind is starting to go move forward now? Mercury's out of retrograde.
Because we gotta remember as when Mercury was in Gemini and then it started hitting those retrograde, it had this trine with Pluto and Capricorn, allowing us to really transform our in terms of values for our business and status. Capricorn. Right now, we have this Mercury direct. We should be in the right mental place to know our true sense of values. This retrograde was this thing. Do we have? Do we value this thing or do we value something completely different? So the this, can you hold on to this while I'm hitting this retrograde? As we're hitting this directness, with energy and trying to Mars is adding the right kind of flame for us to go directly get unique with it and helping that awareness on Gemini to those Gemini, adding more power.
That is so right. And even since we're moving into Gemini after Mercury going into its home, it's kind of like it had to reassess itself, or our mind had to reassess itself and organize and put certain things together, so that when it goes into its natural home, we're probably meant to have certain conversations. Some shit, Mercury goes into Gemini, some information probably gonna drop, or things that we're gonna be talking about, that we're gonna need fresh perspectives of. That maybe all the pieces aren't clear, but we're gonna need a Gemini mind to look at it from all different perspectives. AKA, that's what you show your Gemini friend the text messages that nigga might have sent that's encrypted, because that Gemini is gonna be like, well, if he has mommy issues, this was what it means. If he had daddy issues, this is what it means. If he had whatever, this is what it means. That's what your Gemini friend's going to put you on. So Mercury and Gemini is probably going to be heavy conversations, information, where things are getting said all over the place. So us really understanding our mental values and what our mental tools, and understanding value on that mental perspective and what we should be fixating our minds on, is kind of going to give us that stability to go and handle that storm of information and be more in power, instead of being that floaty Gemini where it's like, oh, something shiny, oh, something information, this, and it's more so that penetrative Gemini where it's like, what do you have behind there, or what's going on there, or what is that, or why does that look like that? It's going to be more of that energy. And instead of you giving information, you going out being all ditzy giving information, now you're the one who's in the seat of collecting the information, or making information known. So especially since we're moving into Gemini season, it's kind of like like double. It's making me more think that it's gonna be like that.
Like this Gemini season is heavy, like heavy doubling when it comes to just regular fast. Because as Mercury was hitting this retrograde, turning Pluto, as we're move forward, Mercury into towards Gemini, we're hitting this time with Pluto again, allowing us to really transform our way of thinking for a sense of business transformation. Like there's no way out of it. Like being capable angled by Pluto, there's no way to get out of it.
That's facts. That's facts. And we're feeling that. We really are. And we can all tell that we're on that precipice of that something new.
And I know this is important for a fact because at some point the sun is gonna travel deeper into Gemini, which is gonna aim conjunct Pluto and Capricorn
Pluto.
at some point. So like this is a reminder ahead of time. We need to think and be mentally aware of our business, our status. We're communicating because we got Uranus and Taurus. We got to focus on our mind because that is going to provide a good opportunity for us to be fluctuated in that pattern as we get deeper into it.
Exactly, and more accustomed to that new type energy, since it's in conjunction, making us more used to being out of our elements like that, but still be able to perform and have broad perspectives. And it's funny because after Gemini season, we're gonna have the Sun in Cancer, and then it's gonna go and make that opposition with Pluto, which is gonna be way more
Oh, yeah.
intense. Which is gonna be way more intense. So it's like Gemini season is like preparing us for that event.
100%. Yeah, I can see how this transition from Gemini to Cancer is gonna be very important because like we got the Orion stars constellation like in the backdrop, and we have all those crazy allegorical fighting stories of stars in the back of these Cancers and Gemini go for this flexible way of thinking, this highly aggressive emotion.
Yep. Yeah, real talk. For some reason, Sun opposing Pluto feels like an ego death, or it's like that's what that energy is going to be like. Whereas the Sun, it can't play that game, or Pluto's going to expose it, the energy that it's not aware of. Sun's like, yo, I'm aware of shit. I know shit. Pluto's like, you don't know anything. Here's this asteroid or this whatever it is. Here's this new energy that's coming in that you. Sun's like, what the fuck was that? I didn't see that. And Pluto's like, yep, yeah, you did not. But yeah, that's for sure how that is gonna play out. So it's so preparing us, getting our mind and curiosity, and filling up with our information. So when we start to reflect, it's like there's information there in terms of, because we were curious, because we were having conversations, because we were talking. When you start to catch feelings too, it's like you have more material to work with. You can be more honest with yourself. Whereas, and this is what Gemini third house also deals with, your early education and your surroundings, your immediate surroundings, because these are the things that is going to influence you. So what surrounds you is going to lay the foundation for your initial education, and how you see things and what you emotionally react to. So it's kind of laying down that formation, that foundation for you to at least have that information for you to be able to use when the time comes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like we're going to be aware of a lot of social dynamics and how people are talking this Gemini season, and that's going to be a big part of it. We're going to start seeing how people are speaking and how it's different, and start understanding on that type of level before we start attaching all of these feelings and emotion. You know what I mean? Just a different way of communicating that is being shown. It's funny I say that. On the 4th, on Saturday, the moon is in Leo, making a sextile with the sun in Gemini. So how do you think this energy? It's kind of, we were kind of talking about it, but how do you think this is?
Yeah, essentially, basically, we're gonna be emotionally reactive. This is the second or weekend after the
On Saturday, yeah, moon in Leo, sextile
So
sun.
right now the moon is in Leo, sextiling the sun in Gemini. So depending on how we feel emotionally, what we're trying to entertain, express, is gonna allow us to see our to go and communicate and argue, analyze about what we're entertaining about. Is everything deal with what we talk about in Cancer, and what we decide to argue about in Gemini, and what value in Taurus. So all this is a lead up sequence to us we are our to be. Remember that. a little bit in the future.
Yeah, real talk. Real talk. All the energy that is going on Saturday kind of makes me feel like it's reconciliation of like your childlike self too with the natural curiosity and active mind of Gemini, and then the moon being in Leo, adding this fun loving or this want and need to respond to things in a more creative fun loving type way. See, and then Chiron adding into the mix too, really adding maybe this healing aspect to the individual, allowing you, maybe reminding you of how fun it is to learn or to communicate things and to have friends and to bring certain things to life, to creatively express yourself, allow new ways for you to creatively express these feelings and emotions that you have on you, and then new ideas of how you can express yourself on an individual level, for you to express your individuality, adding Chiron there so you can really heal the individual by allowing yourself to have fun, by allowing yourself to ask questions, by allowing yourself to be free in a sense. I see a lot of that playing out on Saturday. Kind of a breath of fresh air if you think about it. After Friday, where things are kind of a little bit more serious, and while things are also going fast, you may start feeling, it's a break, on Saturday, and where things can be a little bit more fun loving and maybe a little less serious or less hectic with all the with Mars and Jupiter. We've seen the shootings, you know what I mean? That's just lit, you know what I mean? In terms of it's active, so maybe it'll bring out more of that relaxing type energy, help us transition that spark, those passions into creativity. Yeah, and that's Saturn, and it's funny that I'm even saying that because it is a breath of fresh air. But on Sunday we're having a grand fixed cross, so it's like, well, this is with the North nodes, by the way, but it's still some prominent energy where we have Mercury being on top of the North node in Taurus. You have the South node in Scorpio. Saturn is in Aquarius, and then the moon is in Leo. Just like what you were talking about. Now it's making an opposition to Saturn, but now the nodes are in there, so it's kind of like our past and future is watching, our individual expression and our role in society duke it out with each other.
Like I feel like, especially, it's kind of funny. We're having a cross alignment on Sunday because Jesus was going to be on a cross. So I feel like right now you're being put on this fixated energy of the cross, where you gonna have to move in your sense of value, stability, let go of your sense of vulnerabilities, eighth house, and then again return barriers for that. Like, then you got the moon and Leo. You're gonna sit there and yourself and be too creative, or you're gonna be in the right emotional expression to be collective. Uh,
Yeah, real talk. Grand crosses really push things forward. If you look at how square is a learning experience and forces you to kind of switch up how you're moving, a grand fixed cross is like the whole board. It's like how you move on every level kind of has to change and move and switch around. It's crazy. Even you just say the Jesus shit. Yo, that's exactly what this energy is. This is Jesus getting hung. His individual expression, how you feel, I'm the son of God. Everybody's reaction to that on a social level, the associations and shit like that is like, who the fuck do you think you are? Exposing what? And then the North Node In Taurus, he was changing traditions, and they were uncomfortable with the changing traditions that he was bringing. Some new shit. Why are you challenging what we had held, our values, what we had as held so stable? Who do you think you are? You know, you're making us South Node feel vulnerable. You know, that we want to kill this nigga. Some type shit. So yes, literally that shit played out. Jesus Christ, don't get crucified on Sunday. I don't know who needs to hear it, but it's don't get
Like,
crucified on Sunday.
don't get crucified in your own body because with all those energies play out internally within you, you could crucify your own self because you don't want to get rid of waste, let go of byproducts, Scorpio, not detox, and that's gonna affect what your ability to focus your nervous system. Whereas that is gonna affect what your body nervous system, your heart. Now you can't move your blood because you're intoxicated. Scorpio, your nervous system is not. Now your hormones is all fucked up.
Real talk. Yo, real talk.
You could crucify your own. This is why they tell you to exercise. 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 And even that toxins. You're killing demons within you.
Literally. That's what's going on. For real.
This is why they call people with herbs witches and things of that nature. And then into medical astrology, they tell you don't get a surgery when the moon is at this body part, but make sure the moon is at the body part that's trying this body part to getting surgery is gonna give opportunity for it to work better. I guess music the whole
Yeah, where timing really comes into play in that. Yeah, that's for sure.
we don't understand how important timing and biology is. This was just concept of circadian rhythm and things of that nature.
For sure. Even in just um like certain gene expressions, like why do kids the gene for digesting lactose turns off at a certain age, you know? That's like biological timing. Why is your body doing that at a specific age, creating the lane for other things, you know?
If we really worked on like the different timing periods of our body parts, we could really develop an advanced health system because we're going off of natural time, not based on our opinion, how we feel.
Yeah. And yeah, how we should feel that we can do that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. That also have you seen Soul? The movie Soul?
I heard about it.
It's like it's a Disney or yeah, like a DreamWorks movie and stuff like that. Some of the concepts are pretty good, but maybe they humanize the spiritual world a little bit more. But they, that's what niggas been doing since the beginning of time. But anyways, there's a character in it who was like he was supposed to be like a hippie. He was a guy who could enter the spirit world. He was like twirling around a sign, and that's how he was in this spirit world. He just knew how to get into the zone. And some people are asking him for some help in the spiritual world. And this nigga was like, it was meant to be confusing and shit like that. But he's like, when Orcus is in the window of Gemini, that's when I'll be able to do it. And he's like, that's what the government calls 6:30. So I was like, okay, whatever the fuck this nigga was talking about, but that is real talk in terms of where it was in the kids movie and it was all fast. They never really dived too deep into it, but it's where certain times they wanted him to go into the spirit realm to help them do certain things, but he was like, there's certain star alignments that help facilitate these types of things. Let's wait a couple of hours, let's wait to this day. Let's wait to that's being tapped in and understanding energy on a high level.
Like timing is very important, especially in like social justice system. That like I was reading about how if you have a court case, it is better for you to do it early in the morning. That's because that's when the judge is fresh new, is not tired. It's early in the morning. It's not the end of the day where he does not care about nobody. He wants to go home and play golf. So like I like timing it could kill you or save your life.
And that's facts. If you look at it, the travel through the zodiacs, that's facts. He's more in his individual natures or thinking about himself, more able to maybe to relate to you as an individual. But as it goes on, he's seeing bare liars through the day, bare rapists or whatever the fuck it is. He's like, man ain't shit by 8 o'clock. You know, man ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit. I'ma lock this nigga up forever. In the morning, he was cool and all of that. But all of the other opinions and projections of other people that accumulate throughout the day, and now you have a different perspective. You not don't look at things as fresh like that anymore. That's real shit. That's real shit. So you see that timing late in the morning. It even plays out all the time. You always get your parents half asleep when you're trying to ask them for some shit. You know what I mean? That's the time that you
Yeah, 100%.
go to them and slip it in when they're half asleep. That Pisces type time, you slip it into their subconscious. Maybe they're about to wake up. You get them a little early. They're like, yeah, whatever. And that was good timing. That type of shit. We experience it on micro levels.
Like 100%. Like if you master the concept of time, like you could do some real things. That puts in like perspective, like the seven heavens pattern. Like you understand reality.
Yeah, yeah. That's like a higher level awareness. If once you get to that level, if you master that, I don't even think you'll be in a human body by that point. Niggas will just drop, and then you're in a different awareness somewhere. Real shit, different dimension, different something. If you get to that shit, that's ill. That's ill.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the how the week is looking. That's the energy that's going on. If you want to get any personal readings, check out our website, truspace.biz, where you can get some good shit. Where we can really help you align with the cosmological energies that we are all up under, and get right with it,
Mhm.
and move in accordance instead of moving against it. Check out our Instagram, TrueSpace _ and yeah, like and subscribe.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, for sure. Much appreciated. Peace out.